When we all heard the news about a in-season tournament added to the regular season, most were skeptical. Would it even matter? Would the players even try? Would anybody even care? In real life, it has been a major success with fans and players, so why not add it to the MyNBA world? In the first ever MyNBA World in-season tournament, let's take a look at some of the top performing teams and players. Let's not forget about the Cavaliers. They have laid low ever since the loss of Donovan Mitchell in free agency, but in the in-season tournament, they turned some heads. Led by Lauri Markkanen's career-high 53 points against his former team in the Chicago Bulls. Cleveland ends up with the win in a 146-117 blowout against Chicago. And with the loss of Evan Mobley to a broken hand, Lauri will have to continue his great play to keep the Cavaliers in contention for the NBA Cup. Next up is the first overall pick Jamal Rush matching up against the third overall pick Dylan Owens. The Kings were expected to dominate as the Jazz have been one of the worst teams in the league with a 2-9 record, but LeBron James and Keontae George had other plans. The Kings defense has always been spotty, but tonight they were downright awful, letting Keontae George wide open for multiple threes, allowing Utah to gain momentum. Jamal Rush even outplayed Dylan Owens by a sizable difference. It just wasn't the Kings' day tonight, and with the Jazz upset win, this may be the end of Sacramento's journey to winning the NBA Cup.
It's a really good team that we're playing. They're very resilient, just like us. They play together, they play hard, they play tough, so we had to bring that fight tonight.
Now it's time for a Friday night game with the Dallas Mavericks taking on the Lakers at home. Dallas has only played one tournament game, and that was versus the Pelicans, where they won by 53 points, led by Luka's 48 points, Siakam's 30-point double-double, and Kyrie's 28-8 performance. But Dallas will need their big three to keep that up as they suffer a big blow with the news that Javon Ayuk, their sophomore center, will be out for some time with injury. Nevertheless, the Mavs are 7-2 on the year and should be fine against the 5-5 Lakers squad. Looking at this new look Lakers team, their rookie Xavier Williams definitely has a new look as he heads into this game with solid averages on the year. Will Luka be able to keep up his insanely impressive play, or will the Lakers be able to pull off the improbable upset? I'll tell you one thing, Luka Doncic was eating out there, but it wasn't like LA was giving Dallas the win. Xavier Williams had his best game of the year, while Jaren Jackson Jr. had himself a near triple-double with blocks. But Luka was simply too much to handle, hitting impossible shots all night even with Xavier playing great defense. The Lakers definitely impressed many with this performance, but Dallas still ends up winning 116-109 in LA. But let's highlight the UCLA rookie. Xavier Williams needs his flowers after a great performance in his first in-season tournament start. After an awful first 6 games of the year for him, Xavier might have finally came into his own as a rising star. Watch out for this new look Xavier in the future. If we're talking about transformations, we have to talk about Aiden Anthony. The former Duke star was a $180 at 6'10", which wasn't going to cut it. So as you can see, he's clearly put on some muscle, going from 180 pounds to roughly 205 pounds lean. With Mitchell Robinson out due to injury, Anthony played a lot more minutes, especially as the small ball center. But on the other side of the court, there is a pissed off Rocky Michael M. After a completely awful start to the year that included multiple bad shooting games and very few wins, Michael M was looking to show why he should have been the first overall pick. And by the way he was playing, it definitely seemed like he had something to prove. Rocky easily had his best game of the year in Madison Square Garden, scoring a crazy 42 points while grabbing 6 rebounds. His fellow European rookie teammate had himself a pretty good game himself, grabbing a career-high 17 rebounds against the small ball lineup ran by New York, but his shooting efficiency remains low. Mainly because Aiden Anthony played great defense. He did allow Kai to grab rebounds, but he really didn't let him do anything else. With the added minutes, Anthony had his best game of his young career, nearly putting up a triple-double. It would be another sad day for Bulls fans as they would fall to New York in a 112-105 grind-out game. Michael Lim's amazing performance is not enough as Jalen Brunson drops 35 points en route to give New York the win. Looking at Milwaukee, the Bucks end up making a trade for Houston Rockets point guard Fred VanVleet. The Rockets will lose one of their extra guards while getting 2 first-round picks in exchange for that, while the Bucks add in a championship-winning point guard to their starting lineup. Even with Milwaukee's hot start to the year, they have cooled off a bit as of late, especially in the in-season tournament after they started 0-2. Brooklyn has been a difficult team to beat so far, sitting with a respectable 10-5 record, which has them sitting as the 4th seed in the East. The Nets rookie forward from Duke, Nathan Lazarado, has been killing it as of late. In the month of November, Lazarado has been averaging 14.2 points per game, 6.8 rebounds per game, and 2.1 blocks per game, which is only second amongst rookies, only behind Jamal Rush. It's safe to say that the Duke and Villanova duo of Mikal Bridges and Lazarado gives Brooklyn a scary good future. But like for many other teams, the duo of Giannis and Donovan Mitchell is too much to handle as the Bucks walk away with their first in-season tournament win in a 103-91 low-scoring affair against a top 5 defense in the league. Now with the 4 games out of the way, let's take a look at the 8 teams to make the tournament bracket. Definitely some interesting matchups, starting with the Nuggets taking on the Grizzlies at home. This is the first look at Anthony Davis on his new Memphis team, as he's matching up with the best player in the league. The Grizzlies defense has been a top tier unit for years now, but with the additions of Anthony Davis, OG Anunoby, and Marcus Smart, Memphis has the best defense in the league. But Denver has a top 3 offense in the league, led by MVP frontrunner Nikola Jokic. So it makes sense that this game was a tight contest the entire way through. Especially adding in the money prize on the line, you had yourself a playoff atmosphere in Denver. With the chance to make it a 3-point game, Desmond Bane hits the free throw to go up 123-120. With this likely being Denver's last chance to win, Mike Malone needs to draw up a great play call in order to tie up the ball game. With 10 seconds left, Jokic tries to score a 2 quickly, but AD locks him up, and after the Aaron Gordon missed 3, the Grizzlies would walk home victorious, one step closer to winning $500,000. The Dawkins duel between Jokic and Anthony Davis lived up to the hype. AD actually got the best of Jokic in this head-to-head matchup, leading Memphis to a huge victory in the in-season tournament. Next up is the Hornets versus the Pacers, the headliners being LaMelo Ball, Kyron Matthew, Rick Person, and Tyrese Halliburton, 2 of the top playmakers going head-to-head in the in-season tournament. The game was very close and a high-scoring matchup with 2 of the most electric offenses in the league both catching fire. Tyrese Halliburton leads the way for Indiana with 20 assists against Charlotte, while the former 4th overall pick Rick Person continues his hot start to the year with a 24-point game en route to the win against Charlotte. The Hornets' 2024 number 1 pick, Kyron Matthew, has been improving this year, which has resulted to Charlotte having a decent year with a 12-8 record. But it isn't enough as Indiana walks away with the win to advance to the next round of the in-season tournament. The next matchup is the Mavericks taking on the Lakers in Dallas. The big news of the game was Luka Doncic was sitting out with a back injury. We already talked about how good Xavier has played as of late, and he continued it this game. His shot was not falling tonight, but he played great defense and he continued to show off his amazing playmaking skills. At this point, it might be hard to say that he isn't a top 10 passer in the league even as a rookie. But again, another great individual performance would go empty-handed as the Mavericks would keep up their phenomenal play, currently being ranked as the number 1 team in the league on the NBA's official website. The final first round in-season tournament game is the Hawks on the road versus the Celtics. The big question was how was Boston going to handle Trae Young, and there seemed to be one answer: Jose Alvarado. He was giving it his all trying to defend Trae Young, but like I said, it seemed to be the answer. It seemed like it because in reality, Boston did not have an answer. Trae Young lit up Boston for 50 in the Garden. And adding on the great performance by the young star Jalen Johnson, the Hawks would scrape by Boston in a 111-106 gritty game. Out of the 4 teams remaining, only one top 2 seed is in the second round of either conference. The first 2 games in Las Vegas will start off with the Indiana Pacers taking on the Atlanta Hawks. 2 of the best playmakers in the NBA were going head-to-head for a chance at $500,000. After his 50-point performance, Young was expected to dominate once again against a spotty defense, but the script was not in his favor. The Hawks did not show up on the big stage, getting blown out by 36 points. Tyrese Haliburton scores a season-high 38 points while also dishing out 11 assists, clearly getting the better of Trae Young. With Haliburton's dominant performance, the Pacers are guaranteed at least $200,000 and have a chance at the $500,000 prize. And the last game before the tournament championship is the 1st seed Dallas Mavericks against the 3 seed Memphis Grizzlies. The Memphis Grizzlies were actually pretty heavy favorites to win since Luka Doncic was questionable to play, but with him officially returning from his back injury, the Mavericks seemed to play with a different type of fire. The Grizzlies really had no chance to win, with Dallas basically making every shot. It was a recipe for disaster for the Grizzlies. Luka did not put up crazy numbers, but really his presence alone was a big game changer for his team. Kyrie Irving leads the way with a 34-point performance in way for the Mavericks to advance to the championship round. And now for the big game, the Indiana Pacers are up against the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavs are slight favorites to win $500,000, but honestly, it was basically a toss-up between these 2 teams. The Mavericks started the game off blazing hot on offense and defense. Luka Doncic was not playing around this game, that was for sure. And when you see Luka getting poster dunks, you know you're in for a long night. And that it was for the Pacers. The #1 ranked team in the power rankings dominated the Pacers in an anticlimactic end to the in-season tournament. The Pacers fought hard, but the Mavericks have just been too much as of late. With Luka's 41-point performance in just his 2nd game back from his short absence from injury, the Dallas Mavericks walk away with the $500,000 prize, while the Pacers do get $200,000 of their own, so it's not like they walk away empty-handed. And that is it for the video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed me adding in the in-season tournament, because I know I did. Make sure to like and subscribe. If y'all want to make a player for the draft class, make sure to go in the link in the description, and make sure to do it fast, because next episode will be some prospect scouting, which means it's going to be completely just rookies, no NBA. So make sure to get done if you want a chance to be shown. Not all rookies will be shown, obviously, because there's like 20 rookies. You know, I'm not going to show everybody. I want the quality over quantity, so it'll probably be 2 parts. So make sure to make your player fast, because you have a chance to make it. And I'll see y'all guys next time. Peace.